The Silent Strike. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Luna Base, watching Earth burn. The Nexus Dominion's warships hung in orbit like deadly jewels, their crystalline hulls refracting sunlight across the planet's atmosphere. Their arrival 3 months ago had shattered humanity's illusion of solitude in the universe. Their ultimatum had been simple: surrender or be eradicated. Earth's surface forces had fought bravely and predictably. That was exactly as planned. While missiles streaked across skies and armies clashed on every continent, the true defense of Earth had remained invisible, silent, waiting. Status report, Chen commanded, her voice steady despite the destruction visible below. Lieutenant Rivera's fingers danced across his holographic display. Operation Undertow is at 98% readiness, Commander. All deepwater facilities report green status except Beta Station in the Indian Ocean. They're at 94%, but will achieve full capacity within 6 hours. Chen allowed herself a small smile. For 15 years, humanity had prepared for this possibility. When the first signs of the Nexus Dominion appeared on long-range scanners, Earth's leaders had made a critical decision. While publicly funding a conventional military buildup, they had secretly constructed a network of advanced underwater bases across Earth's oceans. The Dominion never suspected. Their arrogance, their certainty that humanity would fight conventionally, had been their greatest weakness. They saw Earth's armies deploy exactly as expected. They watched Earth's navies and air forces engage in predictable patterns. And now they celebrated their victory, believing they had broken humanity's will to resist. High above, Supreme Commander Vaxar of the Nexus Dominion surveyed his victory with satisfaction. His crystalline exoskeleton sparkled with mural patterns of pleasure as reports of human surrender flowed in from across the globe. The resistance had been fierce, but ultimately futile. Now Earth's resources would feed the ever-expanding Dominion. Begin resource extraction protocols, Vaxar commanded. The humans fought well enough to earn a measure of mercy, maintain minimal casualties during the occupation. Supreme Commander, his sensor officer interrupted, we're detecting unusual seismic patterns in the planet's oceans. Natural geological activity, Vaxar dismissed. This world is tectonically active. Focus on the extraction sites. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Emily Santos watched banks of quantum computers complete their final calculations. The deepwater bases had been her life's work, a network of self-sufficient underwater cities housing millions of civilians and soldiers, along with manufacturing facilities that had spent years producing weapons specifically designed to combat the Dominion's technology. All quantum targeting systems are online, she reported to Commander Chen via their secure hyperwave link. The Dominion's crystalline tech is vulnerable exactly where we predicted. Their ship's molecular structure will shatter when hit with our sonic pulse weapons. Throughout Earth's oceans, massive sonic arrays powered up, their frequencies precisely tuned to the resonant frequency of Dominion crystalline technology. In hidden hangars, swarms of specialized underwater craft prepared to launch. Soldiers donned advanced combat suits designed for both underwater and surface warfare. All stations, this is Commander Chen. Her voice reached every deepwater facility simultaneously. Operation Undertow is now active. Remember your training. The enemy thinks they've won. Let's show them how wrong they are. Commence Phase 1. The oceans themselves seemed to pulse as the sonic weapons activated. Above, the first Dominion ships began to shudder as invisible waves struck their hulls. Confusion turned to panic as the crystalline vessels started to fracture and break apart. Multiple hull breaches. Vaxar's bridge crew shouted in alarm. Unknown weapon type. We're detecting massive energy signatures from the oceans. Before Vaxar could respond, the seas erupted. Sleek craft burst from the waves worldwide, their weapons already firing. Soldiers in advanced combat suits emerged onto beaches and coastlines, targeting Dominion ground forces with devastating precision. The Dominion's celebration of victory transformed into chaos as their supposedly conquered prey revealed its true strength. Humanity had not been broken. They had been waiting, preparing, ready to strike when the enemy least expected it. As Commander Chen watched the first phase of Operation Undertow unfold, she knew this was just the beginning. The real war for Earth was about to begin, and humanity had some surprises in store for their overconfident invaders. The silent strike had been years in the making, and now it was time to show the Nexus Dominion why you should never underestimate human ingenuity. Depths of deception. The Nexus Dominion's command ship shuddered as another sonic wave rippled through its crystalline structure. Supreme Commander Vaxar watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet began to crumble. Across Earth's oceans, more Dominion vessels were breaking apart, their once beautiful crystalline hulls shattering like glass. "Impossible," he whispered, neural patterns flashing chaotically across his exoskeleton. They were defeated. We saw their cities fall, their armies retreat. Multiple hostile contacts emerging from oceanic depths. His tactical officer reported, panic evident in their voice. "Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They're using some kind of targeted sonic technology." In the depths of the Atlantic Deepwater Facility, Dr. Emily Santos monitored the effectiveness of their weapons with fierce satisfaction. Years of research into the crystalline technology's molecular structure had paid off. The sonic pulses were precisely calibrated to exploit the one weakness the arrogant Dominion had never thought to protect against. "Status report from all combat groups." Commander Chen's voice came through the quantum comm system. Emily pulled up the tactical display, watching as hundreds of dots representing human forces emerged from their underwater bases. "Sonic weapons performing beyond expectations," Emily reported. "Dominion ships are falling at a rate of 30% higher than our simulations predicted. Their crystalline structure is even more vulnerable than we thought." Above the waters of the Pacific, Lieutenant Maya Patil piloted her Barracuda-class strike craft through the chaos of battle. The sleek vessel, designed for both underwater and aerial combat, moved with incredible agility. Its hull, composed of advanced metamaterials, could withstand enormous pressures and channel sonic energy like a blade. "Razor Squadron, form up," she commanded her wing of fighters. "Target those ground extraction facilities. Don't let them call for reinforcements." The Barracudas streaked across the water's surface, their sonic weapons precisely targeting the crystalline structures the Dominion had built to strip Earth of its resources. The alien machines shattered, their operators fleeing in panic from weapons they had never imagined possible. Deep beneath the Indian Ocean, Beta Station had finally reached full operational capacity. Captain James Henderson watched as the last of his troops boarded the specially designed transport vessels. Unlike the standard military units that had fought the initial invasion, these soldiers were equipped with hybrid combat suits, incredible powered armor that could function equally well in ocean depths or on land. "Beta Station is combat ready," Henderson reported to Commander Chen. "Request permission to launch Phase 2 operations." "Permission granted, Captain," Chen replied. "Your target is the Dominion's primary command center in New Delhi. Remember, we need their communication hub intact." The transport vessels surged out of Beta Station's launch tubes, their advanced propulsion systems leaving barely a ripple in the water above. The Dominion had focused all their sensor technology on watching the skies and land, never considering that humanity's true strength lay hidden in the ocean depths. Supreme Commander Vaxar had retreated to his emergency command post in what had once been Beijing. Reports of disasters poured in from across the planet as human forces emerged from hiding. His finest ships lay in ruins, their crystalline beauty reduced to worthless shards. "How did we not see this?" he demanded of his intelligence chief. "How did they hide entire armies beneath the oceans?" "The humans. They showed us exactly what we expected to see," the intelligence chief admitted. "Their visible military forces fought exactly as our simulations predicted. We never thought to look deeper." "Launch the emergency beacon," Vaxar ordered. "Signal the main fleet. We need reinforcements." But even as he gave the order, sonic pulses from hidden emitters were already disrupting their long-range communications. The Dominion forces on Earth were cut off, isolated, and facing an enemy they had gravely underestimated. In her command center on Luna Base, Commander Chen watched the tactical displays with grim satisfaction. Phase 1 had exceeded all expectations, but she knew the real challenge lay ahead. The Dominion would recover from their shock, adapt their tactics, and fight back with all the advanced technology at their disposal. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered, her voice reaching every deepwater facility simultaneously. "Surface teams, move to secure your objectives. Dr. Santos, prepare the prototype weapons for deployment. The Dominion is about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or technology. It's our ability to adapt, to deceive, and to strike when least expected." As her orders echoed through the quantum comm network, thousands of human soldiers emerged from the depths, ready to reclaim their world. The Dominion had celebrated too soon, never realizing that humanity's apparent defeat had been the greatest deception in Earth's history. Operation Shadow Rising. Dr. Emily Santos stood before the massive quantum display in Atlantic Deepwater Command, watching as thousands of data points tracked humanity's forces emerging across the globe. The Nexus Dominion's supposedly impenetrable defense grid was failing, their crystalline technology shattering under precisely targeted sonic attacks. "New Delhi Command Center is secure," Captain Henderson's voice crackled through the quantum comm. Dominion forces never saw us coming. Their underground sensors were all focused on detecting movement from above. They never thought to look for threats rising from below. Emily allowed herself a moment of pride. The Hydra combat suits her team had developed were proving even more effective than their simulations had predicted. The suit's metamaterial skin could actively dampen any sonic frequencies that might give away their position, making them practically invisible to Dominion detection systems. Multiple Dominion craft attempting emergency atmospheric exit. Lieutenant Paddle reported from her Barracuda squadron. "They're trying to reach their secondary fleet in high orbit." Commander Chen's voice cut through all channels. "Execute Operation Shadow Rising. Don't let them regroup." High above Earth, hidden stations that had masqueraded as defunct satellites suddenly activated. Networks of quantum-linked particle accelerators, carefully positioned over 15 years of supposedly routine space missions, powered up simultaneously. Within seconds, a web of invisible energy fields surrounded the planet. Supreme Commander Vaxar watched in horror as his escape craft slammed into an invisible barrier. The quantum fields had created a one-way containment grid. Nothing could leave Earth's atmosphere, but the human forces could still strike from any direction. "Impossible," he hissed, neural patterns flashing in distress. "Their technology was centuries behind ours. We monitored their development for decades." In the Pacific Deepwater Facility, Technical Director Marcus Wong smiled as he monitored the containment grid's performance. "You monitored what we wanted you to see," he muttered, even though the Dominion commander couldn't hear him. "Every public technology breakthrough we revealed was carefully calculated to make you underestimate us." The Hydra-suited troops from Beta Station had secured not just the New Delhi Command Center, but its vast database of Dominion tactical information. Analysis teams were already sifting through the data, identifying key weaknesses in the invaders' remaining defenses. Lieutenant Rivera's voice came through the command channel. "Dr. Santos, we've found something in their tactical database. The crystalline technology. It's not just their ships and weapons. It's integrated into their combat armor, their communication systems, even their medical technology." Emily's eyes widened as she understood the implications. "Commander Chen, if we recalibrate the sonic pulse weapons to a higher frequency range." "Do it," Chen ordered without hesitation. "All combat teams, prepare for Phase 3. Dr. Santos is sending new targeting parameters to your weapons systems." The effect was devastating. Across the globe, Dominion ground forces suddenly found their combat armor cracking, their communication devices failing, their medical systems shutting down. The supposedly superior alien technology was becoming their greatest vulnerability. In what had once been the Dominion's primary extraction facility in the Amazon, a group of Hydra-suited troops led by Sergeant Maria Duarte encountered something unexpected. Hidden beneath the crystalline machinery was a massive device, its purpose unclear but its power signature enormous. "Command, we found some kind of quantum device," Dort reported. "It's unlike anything in our briefing materials." Dr. Santos quickly analyzed the incoming sensor data. "That's a quantum entanglement communicator," she realized. They were building a direct link to their home system. If they had finished it, then their main fleet would have had a precise target for reinforcements. Commander Chen finished. "Sergeant Duarte, secure that facility. Dr. Santos, I want every piece of that technology analyzed." If they were building one quantum communicator, there will be others, Emily concluded. "We need to find them all before any can be activated." The battle for Earth had entered a new phase. While the initial surprise of humanity's hidden strength had given them a crucial advantage, the Nexus Dominion was far from defeated. Their remaining forces were adapting, developing countermeasures against the sonic weapons, trying to repair their shattered communication networks. But humanity had spent 15 years preparing for this moment. In hidden bases beneath every ocean, new weapons were being readied. The Hydra suits were just the beginning. Prototypes of even more advanced technology were about to be unveiled. Commander Chen's voice echoed through the quantum comm network. "All forces, prepare for Phase 3. The Dominion thought they had conquered Earth. Now it will show them why humanity never breaks, never surrenders, and never stops innovating." Operation Shadow Rising continues, and we're just getting started. Breaking the chains. Supreme Commander Vaxar stared at the ruins of his command center, neural patterns pulsing erratically across his crystalline exoskeleton. The humans had not just survived, they had orchestrated the greatest military deception in the history of the Nexus Dominion. Now, trapped behind their quantum containment field, his forces were fighting a losing battle against an enemy that seemed to emerge from every ocean and sea. Multiple breaches in Shanghai defense grid, his tactical officer reported. "Hostile forces using some kind of phased plasma weapons. Our crystalline shields are useless against them." Dr. Emily Santos watched the deployment of humanity's latest weapon with fierce satisfaction. The plasma lance technology had been developed specifically to exploit the unique properties of Dominion shield systems. Like the sonic weapons before them, they represented years of careful study of the enemy's technological weaknesses. "All deepwater facilities. Execute Phase 3. Commander Chen's voice resonated through the quantum network. "Deploy the Kraken units." Beneath the waves of every major ocean, massive hangar doors began to open. The Kraken units were humanity's ultimate deep-sea weapon platforms, enormous mechanical constructs that combined the most advanced human technology with reverse-engineered Dominion systems. They had been built in absolute secrecy, their very existence hidden even from most of the deepwater facility personnel. Lieutenant Maya Patel gasped as she saw the first Kraken rise from the Pacific. The machine was beautiful in its terrible purpose, a perfect fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology. Its tentacle-like appendages contained every weapon system humanity had developed to combat the Dominion, while its central core housed quantum computers capable of coordinating entire battle groups. "Razor Squadron, form up on Kraken Alpha," she commanded her Barracuda pilots. "We're its escort for the assault on their Pacific Command Center." In the Atlantic Deepwater Facility, Technical Director Marcus Wong finalized the adjustments to the quantum containment field. "Field modulation complete," he reported to Commander Chen. "We can now selectively disable sections of the barrier. Our forces can move freely while keeping the Dominion trapped." The Dominion's remaining forces were being systematically isolated and neutralized. The Kraken units coordinated massive assaults on their primary strongholds, while Hydra-suited troops secured their quantum communication devices before they could be activated. Every piece of captured technology provided new insights, new weaknesses to exploit. Captain Henderson led his Beta Station forces through the streets of what had once been Singapore. The Dominion had converted the city into a massive processing center for Earth's resources, Now, those same crystalline extraction machines were shattering under combined sonic and plasma attacks. "Command, we found something," Henderson reported, his Hydra suit's sensors detecting an unusual energy signature. "There's some kind of temporal device hidden beneath the processing center." Dr. Santos analyzed the data from his suit's sensors, her eyes widening. They were building a time dilation field, she realized. They planned to accelerate their resource extraction by manipulating local time flow. If they had succeeded, Earth would have been stripped bare in what seemed like days to the outside universe. Commander Chen finished. "Captain, destroy that device. Then get me everything you can from their research databases." The battle for Earth had become a race against time, while humanity's hidden forces had the advantage of surprise and specialized weapons. The Dominion's technological base was vast. Given enough time, they would find countermeasures, ways to overcome the sonic weapons and plasma lances. But humanity had one final card to play. In a heavily shielded chamber beneath the Atlantic Deepwater facility, Dr. Santos stood before a device that represented the pinnacle of human scientific achievement. It was a quantum consciousness transfer system, technology that could interface directly with the crystalline neural networks that formed the basis of Dominion intelligence. "The interface is ready," she reported to Commander Chen. "If this works, we won't just defeat their technology. We'll be able to access their entire command and control network." Commander Chen's voice was steady as she gave the order that would change the course of the war. "All Kraken units, begin final assault phase. Dr. Santos, activate the quantum interface. It's time to show the Dominion that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology or our deception. It's our ability to understand and adapt to any challenge." As the quantum interface powered up, Emily thought about the 15 years of preparation, the millions of people who had worked in secret to make this moment possible. The Dominion had thought they were fighting a simple technological war. They were about to learn that humanity's true strength lay in its complexity, its adaptability, and its unwavering determination to survive. Humanity ascended. The quantum interface chamber hummed with energy as Dr. Emily Santos initiated the final sequence. 15 years of research, of studying the crystalline neural patterns that made up Dominion consciousness, had led to this moment. Around her, the most advanced computers humanity had ever built processed quintillions of calculations per second. Interface activation in 3, 2, 1. She pressed her hand against the quantum-locked control panel, initiating consciousness bridge. Across the globe, every piece of Dominion technology suddenly froze. Their neural networks, the crystalline pathways that carried their thoughts and commands, became pathways for humanity's ultimate weapon, understanding. Supreme Commander Vaxer felt it first, a presence in his mind, alien yet somehow familiar. Through the quantum interface, Dr. Santos could see the complex patterns of his thoughts, could understand the fundamental assumptions that had led the Dominion to so drastically underestimate humanity. "This is impossible," Vaxar broadcast, his neural patterns chaotic with disbelief. "Your species, you were primitive, unadvanced." Commander Chen's voice rang through both human communications and Dominion neural networks. "No, we showed you what you expected to see. Every technological advancement we revealed publicly was carefully chosen. While you watched our obvious development, our true progress remained hidden." In orbit, the quantum containment field shifted, allowing a single ship to descend. The vessel was neither human or Dominion design. It was something new, a hybrid of technologies that represented humanity's true capabilities. As it landed near the ruins of the New Delhi Command Center, its hull shimmered with possibilities. Lieutenant Maya Patel led her Barracuda squadron in formation around the hybrid ship. Through the quantum interface, she could sense the awe and fear from the Dominion forces as they recognized components of their own technology seamlessly integrated with human innovations they had never imagined possible. "Your fundamental error," Dr. Santos explained through the interface, her words reaching every Dominion consciousness, was believing that technological advancement follows a single, predictable path. Humanity doesn't evolve in a straight line. We adapt, we learn, we find unexpected solutions. The Kraken units had surrounded the remaining Dominion strongholds, but now they stood idle. The war had moved beyond physical combat. Through the quantum interface, humanity was sharing not just communications but understanding. The Dominion's neural networks were experiencing something they had never encountered before, a species that had developed along completely different lines than their own. Captain Henderson and his Hydra-suited troops secured the last quantum communicator in the Amazon facility. Through his suit's enhanced sensors, he could detect the changes rippling through the crystalline technology around him. The Dominion's machines were not just shutting down, they were transforming, adapting to new patterns of thought. "We study your technology for years," Technical Director Wong explained through the interface. "Not to copy it, but to understand its foundations. Every weapon we developed, every countermeasure we created, came from understanding your technological perspective, and then approaching it from angles you never considered." In the Atlantic Deepwater facility, Commander Chen watched as the quantum interface achieved full synchronization. The hybrid ship in New Delhi had begun to glow, its surface reflecting the merger of two technological paradigms. It represented not just humanity's victory, but the possibility of something greater. "You came to Earth expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest," Chen broadcast to all networks, human and Dominion alike. "Instead, you found humanity. We don't just adapt, we transform. We don't just survive, we revolutionize. And now, you have a choice." Through the quantum interface, Dr. Santos could sense the shift in Dominion consciousness. Their rigid certainty was giving way to something new: curiosity, wonder, and the first glimpses of understanding that technological advancement could follow many paths. Supreme Commander Vaxer stepped out of his shattered command post, his crystalline form refracting sunlight in new patterns. "We have never encountered anything like this," he admitted, both through neural networks and spoken words. "Your deception was not just in hiding your weapons, but in hiding your true nature." The war that had begun with an invasion was ending not with destruction, but with transformation. Humanity had not just defeated the Dominion. They had shown them an entirely new way of thinking, of developing, of existing. "The quantum interface goes both ways," Dr. Santos offered. "We can learn from each other. Your crystalline technology, merged with our adaptability and innovation. Imagine what we could achieve together." As the sun set on the battlefield that had been Earth, the hybrid ship's glow intensified. It was a beacon not of victory or defeat, but of possibility. Humanity had protected their world not just with weapons and deception, but with the one thing the Dominion had never expected: the ability to transform enemies into partners in advancement. Commander Chen sent one final message through all networks: "Welcome to humanity's true level of advancement. The future is not about domination or submission. It's about adaptation, innovation, and the endless possibilities that come from understanding different paths to progress." The war was over, but humanity's greatest achievement was not in winning the conflict. It was in transforming it into something entirely new. The oceans that had hidden humanity's strength now witnessed the birth of a partnership that would reshape both species' understanding of what was possible.